If there's any one place known for its beat, it's Africa. And today from Cape Town, we talk with South Africa's leading girl band, Godessa. Hello and welcome. Positive role models for young Africans are proving essential in the battle against HIV/AIDS and other social issues. One of South Africa's most popular music acts has stepped in to do just that. The all-female hip-hop group Godessa has combined the task of being black female role models with a sound that's guaranteed to draw a young crowd.
The nonsense in common with the falseness, my senses masked with the pretense of all the options of running from my darkness.
Sound of Godessa there. Don't forget, we take your questions on this program via phone and mobile text, and the numbers are there on your screen. Well, I'm pleased to welcome into the show the trio behind Godessa. Eloise Jones, also known as EJ Von Lyric, is the group's vocalist and producer. Bernadette Amanshore, or Bernie, is one of South Africa's leading spoken word artists. And Shemima Williams got her start as an MC going toe-to-toe with other artists in the numerous battles or contests that took place. It's good to speak with you all.
Thanks for having us.
EJ, let me start with you. You guys had a great success with that first album, Spillage. How's the second one coming along? It's due to come out soon, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's coming really, really nice. You know, we're in the studio still and writing and producing, but we already have some nice tunes that people will really love, you know.
Bernie, is it a kind of sound that's going to follow very much what you did the first time around, or have you tried to look for some new angles?
Well, basically there's going to be a lot more vocal singing on it. Also, I mean, we try and look for new avenues and different ways of doing things constantly. So I think it's going to be very different to the first Spillage album, but I think that people will like it a lot.
And remember, how's the pressure? You know, when you have such a big hit with the first album, how much pressure is there to make sure that second one can repeat that kind of success?
Well, there was a lot of pressure already with the first album where we kept on saying next month, next year, you know, soon, soon. And it's been a few years since the first album, but I think we're always so busy with lots of other projects and that sort of thing. And albums are not your best way of making money either. So, you know, for us personally as a group, there's not that much pressure to, you know, record albums, 2-3 albums a year, you know. So it's nice to take your time.
I'm going to go into some of the other things you do, especially the charity work, in just a moment. But when we were playing that clip of one of your songs there, you're all tapping your feet and like your head, so the music's definitely in you. So we can't let you go away without at least a little sample of what you've got on the new album. Can you give us a little burst of something? Is there anything you can think of?
Oh, it's so fresh.
Yeah, it's very new.
You want to keep
I don't think we even memorized all of the stuff yet, you know.
Now, tell me about some of the stuff then that you got involved with some Swiss rappers and Swiss artists and so on. How did that connection come about, EJ?
Well, about 3 years ago. 3 years ago we went to Switzerland on an exchange project. It was basically paid for by Pro Helvetia, that's the Swiss Arts Council here, along with the South African Embassy and various other sponsors. And then when we got there, we spent 2 months there, and we just felt, well, we need to collaborate with various artists, not just hip-hop artists, but in the end, you know, because hip-hop is in our blood, I suppose, we ended up recording Rogue State of Mind with some of the Swiss artists, hip-hop artists that were there, and producers as well.
How's that influenced the work you did? I mean, what sort of input did they give to your work? What did you bring to them?
I mean, we constantly wanted people to be very free on the album. We just invited a lot of MCs and vocalists to collaborate with us. And, you know, the end result was that we made a CD, and the CD sales from that album is going to an organization back here in South Africa called Party with a Purpose and stuff.
I wanted to ask you about that because that really is one of the key things that, you know, like Shemima was saying earlier, you really are involved a lot with the charity work in terms of improving lives of people here, yeah?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, Shamima's been very involved with Party with a Purpose over the last couple of years. Our involvement as Godessa through that organization has just been doing free performances for them, that kind of thing. And also now with the contribution, the proceeds of the CD going to that organization. But we try to, as much as possible, get involved with charity work, whether created by ourselves or through other organizations.
And Shamima, tell me about that, because I think it was really you responsible for getting Godessa together, wasn't it, when you were working on a documentary project and you guys came in to collaborate and the group formed from that?
Yeah. Well, with the organization, you know, I'm a volunteer with Party with a Purpose production, sort of mobilizing the artists in the city to contribute their time and creativity and so forth. The Project Rogue State Alliance, for instance, has helped the organization to dress 150 kids for school for this year. You know, so what we do is we collect the proceeds, put up quite a big event, get all the, you know, latest artists to come and perform at the event, and then what we make at the event, we then go and buy school uniforms and that sort of thing.
Very much focused on education and it's in the Cape Flats as well, mostly.
It's in the Cape Flats, particularly a school in Steenberg, where we found that there was a great need, you know, but we really need more support. And even as the organization, we're a small organization. It's run by a group of performing artists, basically, and we realized that the need is so huge, you know, for something as basic as a pair of school shoes or a pants, you know, that there's such a huge lack of that in the country.
Now, EJ, you know, I mentioned at the beginning when I introduced you that, you know, you are role models and it's a very important part that you play. So what is it you try to get across? I mean, obviously the work you do with charities and helping kids and so on is very visible. How do you try to come across as a group to young people to show, look, this is how you should be leading your lives?
Yeah, exactly that, you know, because there's such a lot of, especially with hip-hop music, there's such a lot of negative images out in the media, especially about women, you know. So first and foremost, I suppose that's one of the battles we have to fight as females in the music industry, and also because there's a lot of young women that want to become, you know, that are aspiring hip-hop artists and want to become a part of the music industry, and it's so glamorized in the media that they don't really know what's going on, and some of them have the wrong perception or misconceptions about the industry itself and how they see themselves because of the negative images that is portrayed, and they tend to follow that. So first and foremost, we're trying to change that and show young women that, listen, you don't have to go that route. There's another way. You can still make money out of the music industry, and if you want to, if being famous is one of the things that you really want to have, then that too, but don't let all those derogatory images, don't portray yourself basically as one of those, because you are not. You should be proud of yourself being a woman. Yeah. And
interesting. You've answered a question, but we had a good response from when we told people you're coming on to talk with us. People sent in emails and stuff. And EJ, just on that subject, put an email to you that came from Oregon in the USA. And Rob Timmons wrote in saying, you know, he's noted that, you know, the struggles of rappers like Queen Latifah and MC Lyte and so on had in trying to break into this male-dominated industry, and said, has Godessa ever faced challenges as it earns its props in this uniquely testosterone-driven environment? Has the group brought attention to the high levels of rape that exist in South Africa? And is it a message of respecting women that's getting through to young men?
Yeah, I suppose, especially on the new album, that's definitely one of the topics that that will be on there as part of the songs. But I think in the past, we've also been very involved in AIDS and HIV awareness projects and things like that. And naturally, rape comes in there as well. And obviously, that is one of the greatest risks these days, that you don't just get raped and it's a psychological problem. In the end, you're sitting with a death sentence, and what do you do then? You know, but I guess Shamima can also speak a little bit more.
Well, I'll put another one. I'll put these emails too. There's a couple more. And Bernie, actually, maybe I can put this one to you from Maine in the USA. Lawrence Lee wrote in saying, I don't think the sex of hip-hop artists is as important as the content of their material. Anyone attempting to change the current violent and racist content of hip-hop would indeed be a refreshing and needed voice. And EJ had mentioned a bit about this, the image of hip-hop, and how much have you had to battle the negativity when it comes to the hip-hop image?
I think it's been very difficult at times when people look at us in terms of we are just a female group and you know, that's why we are getting the attention that we are getting. But it goes more than us. Godessa, more than that, Godessa actually battles a lot of serious issues. On the first album, we were talking about globalization, HIV/AIDS. We also are active, involved in doing workshops with kids and trying to educate kids to stay on the right path and that kind of thing. Which a lot of hip hop artists don't get to do. It's unfortunate also that, you know, in terms of us going out there and doing the work that we do, we always have to wait a lot of the times for organizations to approach us to get funding, to be active in the community. There still needs to be a lot done in terms of government coming to the table and giving us also funds to go out and do the work that we do, because it's very needed when, like she was saying, there's a lot of people out there portraying the wrong image of what hip-hop is about. And I mean, with groups like us and other groups out there, we can really make a difference.
Yeah, well, recently I've also been part of a play, a hip-hop theatre production. And the main message within that was really on trying to get the misconceptions of hip-hop, what real hip-hop music is and the culture is, out of the way. And also parents really do not understand, because of all the negative images that's out there already, that this is something positive and it's not just something where women would shake their, you know, whatever. And
but do you remember there's been the whole gangster image, you know, that's been generated in the USA, for example, with the hip hop and rap culture there. And I wonder how much, you know, the young listening audience here that likes that kind of music is looking to the US for the cues, for the signals, and how much they would expect that in the local artists too.
Well, I mean, just generally, you can go to a township in Cape Town called Manenberg, where there's a huge mural of Tupac, as an example, you know, and even some of the names of actual gangs are like the Americans, Junior Mafias, which are names and things of rap groups in America. But yeah, it's definitely part of gang culture here in the Western Cape and in South Africa in general, that rap music and particularly gangster rap is popular in that.
Who are your influences, you remember, from the West, from the USA?
From the USA,
in that culture and that music.
I mean, there's so many, and from some of the old school to some of the new school people, but definitely someone like Tupac Shakur, you know, with as much controversy around his lifestyle and that sort of thing. I really admired his you know, the kind of upbringing he had and the kind of home that he lived in and the struggles that he had, that, you know, that we shouldn't just look at the stereotypes and the controversies around people, but also see that as a person coming from a township or a ghetto, you know, that you have it within your means to do something successful and something positive with your life, you know. And it doesn't necessarily mean that all of us from the ghetto have to become rappers, because there's too much rappers in the world, you know. But there are many options for us, and we should look around and find what makes us happy and what the potential within ourselves is.
EJ, this actually, I should put this email to you, this one that came in from Illinois in the USA, written in from Imran Ali, because I know that you supported Dead Prez. And this might be interesting for you. It says, rappers such as Dead Prez and Immortal Technique have been around for some time and provide socially and politically conscious music. These artists have a loyal and sizable following, but cannot break into the mainstream because of the gatekeepers, the major labels. Now, has that been an issue that you had to think about?
oh yes, definitely. We were approached here in South Africa by, well, a couple of major labels, but we consciously decided not to go there, because first of all, what happens with your music is you lose creative control, and that's not what we wanted to do. Because of the fact that our music is message orientated, we didn't want to change our image, because that's the next thing that follows. And especially if you're a woman, you're gonna have to dress differently. You're gonna follow all that stuff that I just talked about, you know, the negative images. You're gonna have to, because there's this perception within the music industry that sex sells. And if you're a woman, you know, you need to undress, and we didn't want to go there, and we didn't want to change the content of our lyrics or anything like that. So I understand that for Dead Prez, it's the same battle, you know, and for Immortal.
Bernie, you know, it's interesting because you guys, you know, you've done so well as a group. You've been around together about 7 years now, but you have your own projects as well. Because I know you have your solo album, Modus Operandi, coming out in just a couple of months. I think EJ, yours, Method into Madness, is coming out in about a month or so.
Yeah, Method into Madness.
Right. So I wonder how, Bernie, how do you guys keep it together? How do you keep that, the friendship, the freshness in the music, the act, and still do your own stuff as well? How does it work?
I mean, we're busy constantly all the time with the things that we do. We've been fortunate that with all of us, you know, she's producing, so she produced my album. When I start touring or doing my own solo project and stuff, releasing it, then maybe Shamima will be handling my things because she does the organizational stuff a lot. Also, you know, we're constantly helping each other out, working together. It's very much like people would think it's a struggle, but it's not actually. It's been fun. The 7 years have gone so quickly. Yeah, and hopefully we'll be around for a little bit more.
And Shamima, you've got, obviously the charity, the social work, the socially conscious projects will still be a main part of Godessa's work, yeah?
Yeah, no, of course, that's the basis of Godessa, basically. You know, I think, like when we were speaking about labels earlier on, that you make a conscious decision. Do you want to be a rapper to become famous, or do you want to be a part of building the culture of hip-hop and the movement and using the philosophies behind the actual culture and using rap as a tool to be able to do that? You know, so definitely it's a part of the group. And for us as individuals as well, the struggles in our communities and things are very important to us. It touches us personally, the issues affect us personally and our families, you know, so we have to contribute in some way.
Well, I'm disappointed I couldn't get you guys to harmonize a little bit with the new stuff, but next time I promise I'm going to make you do it. Thank you very much for talking to us, Shamima, Bernie and EJ. Thank you. Good luck with the new album.
Thanks, Rose.
And thank you for being with us. On the next show, we look at the 2010 World Cup coming to South Africa. If you have any comments, send us your emails in advance to riz@aljazeera.net. A special edition of Street Talk from Cape Town's next, but we leave you with more of the sound of Godessa.
You know we gotta take it in stride, stand strong and survive, hands along the divide. Azania, come on, my people, let's rise. Through the streets of Soweto and Guguletu, Kayalicha crossroads and they dare to. Test a native in a yard like Dr. Death do. You, HF of roots and your men's too. A church was rising in the system, they were scared. Who would overthrow, destabilize, be prepared to lay down their life to colonize, open eyes to up to 94 guerrilla war tour. Ooh, Southern Africa we all saw women and children on their feet marching on for change, hoping for the breaking of